Aston Martin is making no bones about the importance of its new DB11. Speak to bosses at the British brand and they'll tell you this is arguably its most important new car ever, and that's a bold claim for a company that's been building cars for more than a century. Designed as a Grand Touring flagship and a replacement for the brand's DB9, the DB11 is completely new from the ground up. This is a clean sheet exercise for Aston's designers and engineers. Under the bonnet is a twin-turbo 5.2 litre V12, which is all new. Then there's a stronger and lighter aluminium chassis, which is all new. It also gets an electric power steering system, which is all new. And not forgetting the multi-link rear axle, which is, well, you get the picture. However, it's not the car's exciting new underpinnings that'll grab your attention first, it's that gorgeous exterior. I mean, just look at it. And there's some substance to go with the style, because the Aston's flowing lines and beautiful proportions hide some really clever aerodynamics, including the firm's Aeroblade concept, which channels air through ducts hidden behind the C-pillars before jetting it out of vents on the trailing edge of the boot lid. This neat feature manages to both cut aerodynamic drag and reduce lift. Clever.
Okay, so the DB11 looks lovely, but the big question is, how does it drive? Now let's deal with the first thing, the elephant in the room, that new engine. So a twin turbocharged 5.2 litre V12. So it's a first for Aston Martin, it's an all-new engine, and well, the figures make impressive reading. We've got 600 horsepower and 700 newton meters of torque at just 1500 RPM. Now, as you can imagine, that means it's very fast. But the amazing thing is, there's virtually no turbo lag. This feels like a naturally aspirated engine, and even more impressively is the noise. It's, if you listen, there's that traditional V12 howl. It's really, really nice. And there's 3 engine stages and transmission stages you can have. So there's GT, there's Sport, and there's Sport Plus. Each one sort of ramps up the response, and frankly, you don't really need more than GT for most of the time. With that much torque, the softer throttle response is probably better, but perhaps the most impressive thing about this car is the suspension. Now, Aston are keen to promote this as a GT sports car. It's about getting in it at Calais and hacking down to Nice as comfortably and quickly as possible. And to that end, the ride is remarkably good. They've worked to try and make the car breathe with the road, and given that its dynamic capabilities and performance, I mean, some of these Italian roads, it's a bit patchwork, and yet the car, it glides over them. Even if you go for the Sport or the Sport Plus settings, there's compliance there, and the car, you never get a sickening crash or a thud. It sort of checks. It's almost like it's breathing with the surfaces, but you've still got that connected feel, and that's partly down to this new electronic power steering system. So it's the first electric power steering system that Aston have done, and it works really, really well. It's quite a quick ratio, so it's a quicker steering than Aston have done before, but it's very natural feeling. And again, as with the powertrain, you can choose from GT, Sport, and comfort modes, and got a really linear response. There's a natural feeling to it. It never feels nervous, and yet it delivers just the right amount of feedback without sending you unwanted messages. You don't get kickback. It's a remarkably impressive system, and it just makes the car relaxing to drive quickly, which I guess is the aim of a proper GT car. And the performance, as I say, it's just crackers. Wind it up and this thing just flies. I can't see how you'd get anywhere much quicker. It's a rear-wheel drive. The gearbox is a transaxle, so it's hanging out over the rear axle. So you're getting a sort of 50-50 weight distribution. It's just so relaxing to drive. The rest of the interior, well, that's a step on. The deal with Mercedes means that there are Mercedes bits of switchgear. So this rotary controller here is out of the E-Class and the S-Class, but it's so well integrated that unlike the previous generation cars where there was Volvo and Ford switchgear, you don't feel like you're being shortchanged, and everything you touch that looks metal is metal. The leather is beautifully soft. This is a truly impressive GT car. Now, these are very late pre-production models, so they're sort of just about ready to go into production. So there's a little bit of wind noise around the A-pillars, a little bit of road noise, but otherwise it's very refined. It's a Grand Tourer. You feel like you could cover 600, 700 miles in a day and get out feeling as fresh as when you left.
So, does the DB11 live up to Aston Martin's hype? The short answer is yes, and emphatically so. Without doubt, this is the best Aston Martin in decades. Its ability to mix stunning performance, agile handling, refinement and a supple ride is almost unrivalled at this level. At £154,900, it's not exactly cheap, but well-heeled buyers looking for a GT car that delivers the ultimate in style, sophistication, performance and luxury need look no further than the DB11. To watch a review of the Aston Martin GT8, click the video on the left. To watch a review of the Ferrari GTC4 Lusso, click the video on the right. Click on the play icon to watch our latest video and click on our logo to subscribe.